So the activity you're going to work on today is first looking at the article, making sure that you can find who is the author, if you know what the article's title is, the date of publication, and the URL. So if we go back to the original author, the original article, if you need help with that, I'll notice if you get mistakes, incorrect mistakes here, and then I'll help you with that individually, okay? But the most important thing we're going to work on is how do we know what information from the article is actually going to help us answer the research question. I'm going to repeat that. What information from the article is actually answering our research question? So before I do that, I'm going to have to look at our research question. So we're looking at what were the challenges that happen when we try to social distance in a city like Toronto. So the key word is problems or challenges. What prevents people from being able to social distance? Okay? Now that I have the question in my mind, I'm going to go to the article and I can read through it once. I can read it slowly and take it part by part. So I'm going to show you and model how I would read the first page and what would be my thinking as I'm reading. Okay? So, keeping distance, a touchy subject. Call it the pandemic. Pause de deux. Okay, and this has a yellow thing. So I'm going to look and see why does that have a yellow? Oh, it's because I knew it was a harder word. So I wrote the definition. It says dance for two people. It's a French word. So, oops, that should be a capital. Dance for two people. So call it the pandemic, a dance for two people. A little dance where pedestrians. Pedestrians means people who walk a lot. So pedestrians perform when they approach each other on a narrow Toronto sidewalk to make sure they don't pass too close. Okay, so in other words, people who are walking have to be careful, kind of like move around each other because Toronto sidewalks are narrow. Does this have any information that so far relates to challenges? Maybe I could say from this page that, okay, maybe it's because Toronto sidewalks are narrow. So I'm going to take that piece of information and I'm going to put that into this column where it says copy the information directly. Okay, so narrow Toronto sidewalks. That's one point that maybe is a reason why this is a challenge. Let me continue reading. But keeping your distance during the COVID-19 outbreak isn't always easy. To demonstrate just how little space pedestrians, those are people who are walking, have, two local advocates, advocates means supporters, people who agree, with the Toronto Public Space Committee filmed themselves going for a stroll in a social distancing machine, a hoop made of pipes and old bicycle tubes that forces people to stay the recommended 2 meters away. So I'm going to read that one more time. Keeping your distance during the COVID-19 outbreak isn't easy. Well, that's a promising topic sentence because it's telling me that there's a challenge. So I'm going to really pay attention to this paragraph. What is the challenge? To see how little space people who walk have, the Toronto Public Space Committee filmed themselves going for a stroll in a social distancing machine, a hoop made of pipes and old bicycle tubes that forces people to stay the recommended 2 meters away. Okay. So this is showing me what this picture is. He's showing how difficult it is to have people stay away from him. Is this a detail that's important for my research? It could be. It's not helping me answer the question in a very general way because this is a very specific example, but it is definitely something that is helping. So I'm going to take this piece of information. Okay, I'm going to say that they filmed themselves going for a stroll and that they made a social distancing machine. I'm going to say, okay, maybe that's helpful. I'm going to include that here and paste it into my document. Okay, I like to leave a space in between the different points because if I leave it all clumped like this, when I go back to read it, it's going to be very confusing. I'm going to be like, narrow Toronto sidewalks film themselves. Wait, the sidewalks are filming themselves? So I'm going to keep a space in between and really make sure I can see that this is a different point. Okay? Let's continue. The demonstration clearly resonated with Torontonians. By Monday evening, just a few hours after artist and writer Daniel Ratzian posted it on Twitter. The video showing his collaborator Bobby Gaba bumping into obstacles and forcing fellow pedestrians into the street through Kensington Market and down Yonge Street was approaching 200,000 views. Okay, so what just happened here? Hold on. So we have here that Torontonians, so people who live in Toronto, were able to watch the video and they saw that this guy was bumping into obstacles and forcing people who are walking into the street. Is that a problem? Yes, I think it is. People walking into the street is a problem. Bumping into poles is a problem. So I'm going to take this. I like that it mentions some specific places in Toronto, like Yonge Street, we know is a busy area. So he's proving that by doing this this experiment. Oops, why did I do that? Sorry. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it into my information, okay? That's just from the first page, okay? Now you only have to read 2 other pages without me, and I don't expect you to have all of the information. I'm looking for you to have at least 3 more points that you did by yourself. So you can copy these 3 if you watch this video and you have the same answers as me. That is okay. You're welcome to copy the same answers. It lets me know that you saw the video, and I really appreciate that. But I would like you to have 3 other details that you think are really important after reading the other 2 pages. Okay, don't forget that I have yellow words are vocabulary words, and then orange ones mean that we've had that word before, and you can go back and see what the word meant. Okay? If there's any words on the Google Doc that I didn't define that were hard, you can either skip over them if you don't think that they're needed, or if you really want to know what it means, you can always highlight it, go to Tools, and use our dictionary on Google Doc, which is one of the reasons I put articles on Google Docs for you. Okay? All right. So the last point, when you have your 6 points, because you're going to have maybe 3 that I did, or your own 3 and then 3 extra, so 6 points in general, the last thing we have to do is we're going to put this into our own words. This lets me know that you understood what you read, first of all, and it also lets you not plagiarize, because if we just take this information and paste it into our project at the end, that's considered plagiarism, and you'll get in a lot of trouble in school and especially at college and university, okay? So in this case, I'm going to turn it into my own words. So narrow Toronto sidewalks. That one is not really hard to change because there's not a lot of information, but I'll say Toronto sidewalks are narrow. There. Great. Notice that I'm keeping it kind of on the same line as what I did on this side so that it's really easy for me to compare. Now I'm going to go down to this one. I said, film themselves going for a stroll in a social distancing machine, a hoop made of pipes and old bicycle tubes that forces people to stay the recommended 2 meters away. So what do I want to say about it? I'm going to say, man made a social distancing machine using pipes and bicycle tubes to show how hard it is to stay away from others 2 meters. Oh, to stay 2 meters. That makes more sense. 2 meters away from other people. Okay? Now, so that's the idea, is that you're just putting it into your own words, okay? And I know that if you're learning English, this can take a little bit of time because you're thinking about what does this mean? How do I change it into your own words? And even if you just change a few words for now, that is better than doing nothing, right? Because it's really important we start to practice changing stuff into our own words, okay? It's also the reason I'm only asking you for 3 other points, right? I'm not asking you for 10 or 20. I'm asking you for 3 because I know it might take you a little bit of time. So that's pretty much it. I'll let you do this last one. If you do choose this point, you can put it into your own words. Okay? I thank you so much for listening to this video, and I appreciate that you're going to add your own ideas to this paper by adding 3 more points. Okay? You will get marked for this. You're going to get 6 marks. Okay, you're going to get 3 marks for your points here. And then, sorry, 6 marks here and 6 marks here, so that'll be 12 marks in total. I've already given you some examples, so you're already off to a good start. Okay, take care.